Yeah, to the beer guy, hey man, you really overtake things too far. I understand that beer guy deleted his whole channel now. I don't get it. It wasn't that serious. To Pete Tang, that's Eddie's friend down in Australia for you, those guys who don't know. Um, Eddie's in Australia, and this guy, Pete Tang. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, I'm only slightly fat now. I used to be really fat, so I do appreciate that. Uh, I'm glad you noticed. Well, it's interesting about males these days. All the stuff that I've been saying about males, you can see it's true. The, Men don't know how to stand up like men anymore. They do things behind your back like women, subversive stuff. Women don't have the power to face someone, head on. So they act like women and go behind your back and say snide shit and do snide things. That's feminine characteristics. You can see that in some of the people that come to the channel. There's a big problem with female energy in a lot of the males on the planet these days. What our so-called rulers is trying to do is feminize all the males so that you will not fight back. And you guys are falling right into that hand, especially the Caucasian males. You seem to be the first target. Actually, I would say the Japanese, because I've been looking at what's coming out of Japan. Maybe they were an experiment, I don't know, but they've really they're really becoming feminized over there as males. But the next people I see, I notice this in, is the Caucasian males in this country. Many of them have become feminized. Not all, but many. Not enough to say that mankind's doomed, but enough to notice it. Like, look at this beer guy's reactions. Take that video down. I'm gonna sue you. Look at this Eddie guy, going behind, sneaking around like a rat in the dark instead of facing someone head on. Hold on one second, fellas. So these are your keys.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. How do I start your car again?
Just push the button.
Push the button.
Brake and button.
Brake and button.
You'll be good to go. I'm only at the corner of Michigan Center Parkway.
Oh, she's moving over there?
Yeah.
That's where the drug people are. Drug infested.
Yeah, so I just got a bed and a dresser and a table in the truck.
Oh, you need some help?
I got her friend's nephew.
Okay.
So,
All right, Trace. Excuse that there, fellas. I want to go get some coffee, and I loaned my truck to my youngest son to help one of my ex-wife's friends move back into town, one of her longtime friends. And, he has some kind of fancy car. I don't know what that emblem is, if you can see that, but he's got that push-button start crap. It's low to the ground and all jazzed out. I just drive a plain old truck. I gave up on that kind of stuff when I was younger. That's one of the problems with the black community is that we'll spend money on stuff like that. and especially for a man my age to spend money on stuff like that, that's a little nonsense to me. That's the problem with the black community is we don't invest in the right things. So anyway, I was talking about the males on the planet, and there seems to be a really big problem with feminization. If you study the people that come here that don't last, and that's why I'm glad I keep this channel hard ass, because I'm hoping it will make you guys harder as males or more masculine as males. As I've said many times before, I don't want to coddle you guys and tell you it's going to be all right and hold your hand and both us cry in the dark. No, that does not create real men on the planet. Men that can take their destiny into their own hands. So my goal is to make you guys leaders in your life. Weird show today, huh? Turn you guys into leaders in your life and turn you into real males, men that can handle themselves no matter what happens. Not men that'll fall down and cry and say, I'm gonna sue you! I'm gonna sue you! Or some other weak man shit like that. Not men that'll get all subversive and rat-like and go create fake channels just to talk some shit from a distance, but men that will stand up and face you head on. Okay? So let's say no to the feminization stuff that's going on out there. And I made a comment about Japanese anime. I suggest you don't watch that, because there's some subversive programming going on in there. I know Zen Thug, you like to watch that stuff. And I also like to watch animation, but I'm actually watching one Japanese one right now, but I'm careful of what I let into my head. I'm aware of the programming that's going on in that stuff, okay? Also, those of you guys who spend your free moments watching that, I only watch that stuff when I don't want to do nothing, when I want total shutdown of my brain. Okay? I'm on vacation this month, so I'm shutting down my brain, at least for a little while. So when I have nothing to do, and I have audio files that I would like to listen to too, but I'm trying not to do any kind of work for a little while, except to do my shows and this kind of stuff. When I go on vacation, I won't be doing any videos. That'll be from the 17th to the end of the month. So there will be no video, except I'll check in to let you guys know what's going on. If I notice something in the game or something like that, but I'm not going to be answering any emails. Okay? So when I come back, if there's a bunch of them in there, I will have to delete them because I don't like to have a bunch of emails sitting there. You know, I'm not going to spend 5 days trying to catch up. So do not send me any emails between the 17th of this month till the 1st. Okay? I know that some people ain't going to get the message and they're going to probably be upset about me not answering and stuff like that. And eventually they'll see the show. Then they'll realize, oh. And there are people who don't care, who don't listen. You know, they're selfish, self-centered, and they'll try to push and hopefully I'll do something. I'm going to be on vacation. Okay? On my site, I'm just going to put up the past shows episodes for a couple of weeks, some of the best stuff that I've done. A lot of people have noticed that, you know, I've been teaching this game for a long, long time. Since I came on the internet. Because I was teaching someone in real life back in the 90s. Before that movie Hitch came out. I think that came out in 2004 or something like that, 203. I don't know, but I don't need to know either. So don't Google it and look it up just to show off how smart you are. I can Google it myself. I was teaching someone live, okay? And so I've been teaching since the 90s. And I don't know what year I started. I was, let's see, I guess it was about, the guy that I was teaching, he was 30 at the time. He's now 42, 43, so about 13 years. 13 years ago I started? No, it had to be longer than that. Yeah, I guess it was about 13 years ago when I started. Then I got onto the internet. I started offering my advice in the Pimps Network, you know, what I had learned about stuff and was continuing to learn. And then I moved over to, after a bunch of Caucasian guys ran up in that Pimps Network site, trying to get some pimp knowledge for their square lives, and they just kind of ruined it. They start talking shit and stuff like that. You guys know how little nerdy Caucasian guys can get. They talk out the side of their mouth, you know, because you can't get to them, or they thought you can't get to them. There's one dude on So Suave that lived in San Diego that I was able to get to because I had some friends down there. Some guy named Joey. Yeah, Joey, that was his name. Anyway, they went looking for him and checked him out, and he was full of shit, nothing but a liar. So after So Suave, I went over to Fast Seduction, and I just got tired of, no offense, no racial offense, I got tired of Caucasian guys talking shit, so I started the first podcast show. And the all the races that liked what I had to say, they started listening to the show. And I've been growing it ever since. And this is back in 2005. So I've been doing this for a long time. It's now 2011. You know, many of you guys were probably in elementary school, or if not, you know, high school. Think about where you were 13 years ago, and I'm teaching the guy live in the game. And then think about where you are now. One of the things I used to complain about in the late 80s and 90s was I noticed that males were becoming feminized. I would sit in the coffee shops downtown. I wasn't even an old guy yet. I was in my 30s, but I was noticing this stuff, and I would complain like an old dude. I'm sure old dudes complain, you know, about how men are today also. Older males than me, you know, in their 60s and 70s, who've been through a lot. So I'm sitting there at the coffee shops. I see these guys coming in dressed like vampires and, you know, effeminate males. I used to go to the club where they had goth night, and I just get sick of the feminization that's occurred in these males, and now they're acting out on it. It also makes me sick, the feminization, when I see it online with some of the males, the way they are. Like case in point, I talked about that Eddie guy and this beer dude and other guys. Now, if you can't take an ounce of criticism from an instructor, you would never make it in the old Marines or the old Army here in this country, or any country. I don't think other countries have gotten pussified like our country, my country has. I understand now you can complain about the drill sergeant being too mean to you, and they let all these bitch-assness type males get in there. And that's what they have to work with to turn into soldiers. And I feel sorry for the drill sergeants. Those of you guys who are soldiers, listen to me, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you guys who are real men listening to me, you know what I'm talking about. So my goal is to help produce men that can handle their lives, not just get a piece of ass. Okay? For case in point, the fellow that sent me, Curtis, or dance student, look what this kid is doing with his life, taking control of it. And all the other people who have done my confidence kicker, my 7 steps, who have taken control of their lives and are now dating women and becoming successful in their lives. In the first chapter, I teach you how to, of 7 steps, or the first series, it's now a program, the first module you work through is you learn to run your life like a business and become a man about it. And that's the goal, is to help you guys become real men. Because women like men, not pussies. I'll bet you these people that do the subversive acts, like, you know, Eddie, Pete Tang, the reason why they're on the internet is because they can't get women. And they don't look at themselves, or this guy that yesterday dude, beer dude. You know, he doesn't see that it's he himself that's driving women away. It's what's inside of you, fellas. Women like real males, real men. They can't trust weak men to protect them. You don't turn them on or make them get excited sexually, whereas men do. That's why when you guys go to the club, you see the guys who are getting the women are the real males, the men out there that have the balls, while you're sitting in the back hating on them, doing subversive things. There was one guy that came to my channel who's a pickup artist. He pissed in another pickup artist's drink, a famous pickup artist. And he never got along with us on the channel. He eventually left. You know, I'm not going to give his name away, but he pissed in a famous pickup artist's drink. That's subversive and rat-like.